Yo, what up? Just made it home from my bike ride. I also wanted to say, too, that I'm not like bashing raw food. I do think it's like the highest level within uh, the realm of food, but I just think it can be done rationally rather than dogmatically. Uh, your most ideal raw foods are going to be tender leafy greens, herbs, and fruits. I just had some watermelon. Because other than that, the foods just aren't going to be serving you. They're constipating, dehydrating. I mean, and another thing too, I guess, like Eric talks about, like some grated carrot or some celery, some starchy foods on the raw combo salad, and this is because it creates a broom. It doesn't really digest in the body, but or break down in the same way. It's rough. It's like that roughage. It's going to break apart the waste, but it's used rationally, and he totally understands where it's coming from and what it's doing, and so definitely suggest reading the Mucusless Diet Healing System, getting a different perspective on how these foods act upon our physiology. Very important. If you're eating like almonds, I definitely recommend soaking them. And like grains and legumes, I highly recommend soaking those overnight. I find there to be like a really nasty, viscous, mucousy film and a stench in the water once I've soaked them. So those are going to help move through the system and eliminate much easier, like with nuts, for example, or maybe like quinoa used transitionally. Both nuts and grains are to be used transitionally. Let's see here. Oh, even, okay, so back to greens too. Say maybe you have like cruciferous greens such as like kale or chard or any of the non-tender leafy greens. Those are going to be starchy, and I personally find it easier to digest if they're steamed and lightly broken down. Otherwise, they just create indigestion, gas, bloating, and it's pretty unpleasant. Oh, let's talk about fruit too. So some people purchase fruit and try to eat it right away, and it's not ripe, and they're like, "Screw it, it's fruit. You know, it'll move. It's good. It's all good." Man, experiment with putting it in the oven at a really low temperature. I've had great benefit with, say, like baking bananas that aren't fully ripe, maybe lightly baking a melon for a short period of time at a low temperature, maybe 150 degrees or a couple hundred degrees, whatever. Experiment around with it, because when the fruit's heated, once again, just like with the starch, because even fruit is starchy, and just not, when it's not fully ripe, it isn't in the form of simple fruit sugar. I believe Dr. Albert Morse says it's like more nitrogen based when it's or before it becomes ripe, and so by baking it lightly or leaving it out in the sun for a couple days, you're really going to help speed along the process of transforming it into simple fruit sugars. Or some do better, like in a dark environment, or maybe like in a bag, like if you put bananas in a bag. But I mean, if you want it right there and then, I mean, don't be afraid to steam it or heat it, even if it's a fruit. It's, like a baked fruit, like a baked apple is going to move great. Like stewed prunes, they're going to move great. So yeah, don't be afraid to eat something with a little heat to it, transitionally. Peace out, guys.